If you're trying to break into product marketing, then you've come to the right place, as I've pulled the most frequently asked questions I hear in my conversations with aspiring PMMs, in my emails, and yes, questions that I found on the product marketing main Reddit thread. As someone who has multiple years of product marketing experience, I've led launches that have generated 1.8 million in 7 months, and now I'm coaching people on how to do the same in their first PMM role. And I'm gonna give it to you straight, no fluff, no sugarcoating, let's go. The first question I get asked is around translating previous experience. So it could sound something like, how do I translate my sales experience or my customer success or content marketing experience into product marketing core competencies or qualifications? So again, this is probably the most common question I get asked, and it makes sense because most product marketers don't start directly in product marketing. I certainly did it, I came from sales. So here's the thing that most people get wrong is that they'll list their job duties on their resume, like manage relationships or hit 120% of quota, create content. That's cool, but the hiring manager doesn't care about the duties, and they especially don't care about the metrics and goals that you were held to in your current role. They care about the outcomes that mirror what PMMs do. So let's break this down by role. If you're coming from sales, you need to highlight customer intelligence gathering. When you were on sales calls, you were hearing objections, competitive mentions, pricing pushback. That's all market intelligence that PMMs desperately need. So instead of saying conducted 50 sales calls per month, say I synthesized competitive intelligence for 50 plus customer conversations monthly to inform product positioning and sales enablement. See the difference? It's the same activity, but with a PMM framing. If you're coming from customer success, you're sitting on a goldmine of product feedback and customer stories. PMMs need case studies, testimonials, and feature adoption data. So you can reframe your experience as I identified and documented 15 customer success stories that influenced product roadmap prioritization and drove 23% increase in upsell revenue. For content marketers, you probably understand audience segmentation and messaging already, but PMMs focus on product-led content specifically. So highlight any work where you translated technical features into customer benefits, collaborated with product teams, or created sales enablement materials, not just top of the funnel blog posts. The mistake I see consistently is that people say, I want to transition into product marketing, but their resume still screams their old role. And I talk about this at length in a previous video of mine, so check that out if you want more resume tips and tricks. But ultimately, you need to make the hiring manager's job easy. They should read your resume and think, oh my gosh, they're basically doing product marketing work informally. The next question I get asked is, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong in interviews? Okay, so real talk. If you're consistently getting interviews but not offers, it's usually one of three things. Number one, you're not speaking the language of PMM. So product marketing has a very specific terminology: go-to-market strategy, positioning and messaging, sales enablement, launch tiers, customer segmentation. If you're coming from another field and you're not using these terms naturally in your answers, you're gonna sound like an outsider, someone doesn't know the role. But here's the catch. You can't just sprinkle in buzzwords randomly. You need to understand what they actually mean and demonstrate that you've done the work, even if it wasn't your official job title. Number two, you're not telling stories with metrics. I can't stress this enough that when someone asks you, tell me about a time you launched something, you say, oh yeah, I helped with a product launch or created some materials and it went well. That's not the best or most impactful answer you could give. An A+ answer sounds like, I led the sales enablement strategy of our Q3 product launch. I created a battle card, 2 case studies, and a demo video. And within 30 days, 78% of our sales team had used the materials, and we closed our first deal using that positioning within 2 weeks. See, specific role, specific deliverables, specific metrics, specific timeline. Number three, you're not asking strategic questions. At the end of the interview, when they ask, do you have any questions for us? This is not a throwaway moment. This is where you prove that you think like a product marketer. So don't ask, what's the culture like? Unless, of course, you're speaking to a recruiter. But for the PMM hiring manager, ask, how does the product marketing team currently collaborate with product management on roadmap prioritization? Or what's the biggest go-to-market challenge right now? These questions show that you understand the strategic scope of the role. Question number three is, what's the difference between B2B and B2C? Is there a difference between B2B product marketing and B2C product marketing? And I love this question so much. I mainly have B2B or business to business corporate product marketing experience, and let me tell you, there are some very different aspects of being a PMM selling to businesses versus consumers. I believe one of the biggest differences is that in B2B, money is the company money, right? Teams have budget usually allotted for new tools, for example, each year. They research a few vendors, they go through usually a really long process, they get a ton of people involved to make a final decision. There's a lot on the line, but I think from a psychology perspective, company money feels a little bit disconnected from you as an individual. Now, you may lose your job for making a bad investment, sure, although that's not likely. In B2C, you're working with consumers. This is their hard-earned money, the same money that they spend groceries with, pay rent with, pay bills with. In my experience, there's so much more at stake for the buyer in B2C, especially with higher priced products or services. Both rely on the same product marketing fundamentals like positioning and messaging, listening to customer feedback, and adapting your products and marketing to align to the challenges that they really care about, and also that they're financially willing to solve, which is an important aspect of this. The tactics can be a little different. At B2B, you probably have a team that can assist you with a product launch, and many times this is to generate sales leads. The B2B companies I've worked at are mostly sales-led organizations. Now, B2C companies, in my opinion, more likely to have product-led go-to-market motions where essentially consumer can try out the product without having any interaction or limited interaction with the sales rep. So think about companies like Asana for project management or Canva. Yes, for larger companies, these vendors will probably include a sales rep to close the deal. However, they have PLG or product-led growth motions so that a solo entrepreneur like myself can easily sign up for the product too. Okay, moving on to question number 4. It's around the number of non-years of PMM experience. So if someone could tell me that they have 10 years of experience in another role, but they keep missing out on candidates or they keep losing to candidates who have PMM titles with less years of experience. This one really stings, and I hear this a lot, especially from folks who have impressive careers who feel like they're getting suddenly nowhere or they're starting from zero. And the uncomfortable truth is having 10 years of experience in sales, for example, doesn't automatically translate to 10 years of experience in product marketing. And hiring managers are often extremely risk averse. They'd rather hire someone with 2 years of actual product marketing experience than someone with 10 years in a related field. And I know it feels unfair because you've worked hard, you've achieved a lot, but from a hiring manager's perspective, they're thinking, can this person start creating positioning frameworks, launch plans, sales enablement on day one? So here's what you need to do. You need to first apply to smaller companies or startups. They're more willing to take a chance on transferable skills because they need someone who can wear multiple hats. At a big tech company, they have the luxury of being picky, and this is especially so for very large brands. Second is do product marketing work on the side, even if it's not official. Volunteer to help your current product team with a launch. Create messaging frameworks for your sales team. Build a case study. Then when you stay in interviews, while I was in a sales role, I assisted in the go-to-market strategy for our Q4 launch. And third, stop positioning yourself as a career changer. Position yourself as someone who's been doing product marketing work just without the title. Perception is everything when you're on an interview. Okay, question number 5 is around advice that I give to PMM newbies. So what is the number one piece of advice I'd give to someone just starting off in product marketing or someone aspiring to be a PMM? It's so tough to just give one answer, but what really comes to mind is really leaning on your manager to align your work to company goals that the higher ups care about. Because product marketing is so cross-functional, it's easy to become the go-to person for really random things. I found myself recently updating review sites with the proper tracking links or UTMs, creating a pricing deck for everything we offer at my current company. And these are just 2 examples, and guess what? I recently found out that none of this matters to the higher ups. None of this work that I thought was going to count towards our goals ended up being a huge waste of time. So I implore you for your sanity and so that you can work on things that will actually give you visibility at the company, focus on the work and goals that your manager tells you are important. It'll help you stay on track, and when you do perform well, those accomplishments will be visible to leadership, which of course means better performance reviews and hopefully a little bonus for you. Another piece of advice I have for newbie PMMs or someone aspiring to be a PMM is to always tie your work to some kind of success metric. It's not enough to just deliver materials or get a product launch out the door and call it a day. You need to follow up with the right teams to define what does success look like. If your company has no benchmark or idea what success looks like, maybe because they'd never tracked the ROI of a certain initiative before, come up with some kind of metric. I recently did this with a pretty common type of initiative where we were moving customers from an old product that was basically dying to a new one that had more functionality and was more stable. We spent years, literally years on this initiative, communicating with those customers, giving them resources to help them migrate, meeting with them one-on-one for support. And when we finally pulled the plug, everyone just moved on. So I kind of thought to myself, can someone give me some kind of success metric for this huge project? Maybe we can look at the number of customers on the old product and the number of customers on the new product, with it hopefully being 100%, of course. Or is there a way that we can figure out how much the old one was costing us internally versus the new one? Lo and behold, we found that only one of the customers was still on the old platform for very specific reasons outside of our control. And get this, we were saving $30,000 a month by having these customers on the new product. How amazing is that? And all it takes is being curious and asking the right people, how can we show the success of this initiative? Even better if you can share those results with your manager or higher ups for visibility. It's thinking like this that will help you go far in your career, believe me. Okay, moving on to question number 6, but I wanted to say real quick, if you have any burning questions for me, please feel free to write me a comment below in this video, or even better, if you have an idea that you want me to create a video around, please let me know as well. Okay, let's get back into it. So question number 6 is gaining interview confidence. So how do I be more confident in interviews when I don't have the exact experience that they want? And this is so important, and I love this because confidence isn't about faking it, it's about preparation. I've been on both sides of the table. I've interviewed for roles where I didn't check every box. I've interviewed candidates who were missing experience but absolutely nailed it. And here's what's really made the difference. So 1, reframe your gaps as growth opportunities. So instead of saying, I haven't done positioning and messaging before, say, I haven't owned positioning and messaging as my primary responsibility, but I've created customer-facing materials in my current role that required translating technical features into value propositions. I'm so excited to deepen that skill in a dedicated PMM role. So you're not lying, you're not apologizing for what you don't have as well. Number 2 is to anchor on what you do have. Every role has transferable skills in product marketing if you can look for them in the right places. If you don't have launch experience, maybe you have project management experience in something else. If you don't have competitive analysis experience, maybe you have market research experience. Find the through line and lead with that. Number 3 is practice out loud. This sounds so basic, but most people don't do it. And let me tell you, 100% of my clients in my program who have practiced their interview answers out loud with me, their family, their friends, have gotten a PMM role. Some without even direct PMM experience, like a recent college grad that I helped. Some people think that they simply can go through their answers in their head and assume that they'll sound fine on the interview. Then they get there and they ramble or they go blank. Record yourself answering common questions. Listen back. Cringe at yourself a little bit. It's okay. We all have to do it. We all go through it. And then tighten up your answers. Even better, or a bonus tip, write out on a piece of paper, not on your phone, because that will look like you're scrolling through TikTok on your interview. Write out cliff notes to common questions that you know the interview is going to ask. Write out a launch story. Write out a competitive positioning project. It will help keep you on track for when your nerves might take over and you end up babbling your answer. And believe me, I am guilty of this. I can talk, as you probably can tell from this video, so I get this, but personally, it really helps to make sure that you say the most impactful things in that limited amount of time that you have with the hiring manager. And if you're struggling with this and you want personalized feedback, that's literally what I do. That's how I help people in my one-on-one coaching program. I'll review your answers, tell you what's landing, what's not, and we'll practice until you feel confident. Check out the link in the description if you're interested in that. Number 7 is, why am I doing this? So this is more of a personal question for me, but I've gotten this as well. Just why do I have a YouTube channel? Why do I have a program? This one is a big one, and it's something I love talking about because I really never have shared this publicly, but to be truthful here, I'm currently employed. Not gonna lie, I am not some full-time content creator racking in ad revenue. I am in the product marketing trenches. I'm doing the work right now, not 5 years ago, not 10 years ago, right now. And I love my work, I really do. And what I really love is helping people break into product marketing. I broke in 2018 and it was so hard. I can't tell you how many people I reached out to, like former colleagues, even former sorority sisters to give me pointers, referrals. not even referrals, but just to talk to me. And let's just say that there were only a very few that actually helped me. So I'm passionate about product marketing work for sure, but I'm also just very passionate about being everything I needed during that time when I was moving from tech sales to product marketing. I want to offer people everything I wish I could have had, because my company at the time was absolutely not interested in me moving into product marketing. I had no formal experience. It was really hard, and that was 2018. It's incredibly hard now. I created this channel and my program to help hardworking, empathetic, collaborative people break into PMM because I believe we need even more people like that in product marketing. I'm not down to help narcissists or lazy people. Just speaking the truth here, I want to see more awesome people come into this discipline and bring their own flavor to it. Bring, again, a strong work ethic, a good attitude, a collaborative nature. I love seeing people like that win. So rant over, but I just wanted to say I'm very passionate about bringing up this next generation of product marketers. Also, I do have people who email me or comment that my content has helped them land a PMM role. And if that happens to you, please feel free to email me or comment on my videos. It makes my day every single time. And it really makes me feel good that my advice is actually helping people. All right, let's talk about common resume mistakes. So I hear this a lot as well. What's actually wrong with my resume? I keep applying, I keep getting rejected, or I'm not getting anywhere on interviews. So this is a big one, and I'm gonna be blunt because I've reviewed hundreds of resumes at this point. Most resumes don't get rejected because they're quote unquote bad. They get rejected because they're boring. Here's what I mean by that. Your resume probably lists responsibilities, not impact. It probably uses passive language. It probably doesn't make it immediately obvious why you'd be a great fit in product marketing. So let me give you real examples of what not to do. Responsible for creating sales materials, work cross-functionally with product and sales team, manage product launches. Okay, so here's how to fix those. Develop sales enablement toolkit, including battle cards, pitch decks, demo scripts, resulting in 40% faster deal cycles. Led cross-functional alignment across product, sales, marketing to define a go-to-market strategy for a $1.2 million product launch. Orchestrated end-to-end launch strategy for 3 product releases, delivering an average of 150% over revenue targets in the first 60 days. You can see the difference. It's all about specificity, metrics, and outcomes. And here's a pro tip. Your resume should be tailored to product marketing specifically. That means leading with things like market research and customer insights, positioning and messaging and value propositions, go-to-market strategy and launch execution, sales enablement and training, and then cross-functional collaboration with primarily product and sales teams. If your resume leads with things like generated MQLs or managed social media or anything around events, hiring managers will assume you're in demand gen, content marketing, or maybe even field marketing, like you're not a product marketer. And again, if you need help with this, I offer resume editing services where I'll rewrite your resume for you with a product marketing lens. Number 9 is, can I actually break into product marketing? Is it even worth it to try to break in with all these layoffs right now and how tough the job market is? And this is a real question, and I'm glad someone asked because I get a lot of doom and gloom out there that I read about. And yes, there have been layoffs. The market is very competitive. But here's what's also true. Companies still need product marketing. In fact, in tighter markets, product marketing becomes more important because companies can't afford to waste budget on launches that don't work. I've been laid off. I made a whole video about it. You can see it in the linked card above. But I also landed my next role within 2 months because I knew how to position myself and I was strategic about my search. So here's what you need to know. 1 is that entry-level PMM roles are the most competitive. Everyone wants them and there aren't many of them. So if you're trying to break in, you might need to consider adjacent roles like product operations, sales enablement, or solutions marketing as stepping stones. Number 2, I talk about this so much. Mid-sized companies are your best bet, or small companies. Big tech companies are slowing hiring. Tiny startups might not have defined PMM roles yet, but companies with like 200 to 1,000 employees, they're still hiring because they need product marketing, but they don't have the luxury of waiting for the perfect candidate. Number 3 is network like your job search depends on on it because it does. And I hate to say it, but most PMM roles get filled through referrals or internal mobility. If you're just applying on LinkedIn and hoping for the best, you're making it harder on yourself. Now, is it hard? Yes. Is it impossible to break in right now? Absolutely not. I'm literally helping people land these roles right now, but it requires a strategy, persistence, and really solid preparation. Question number 10 is my favorite, and that is, what do you wish someone had told you when you were first trying to break into product marketing? So I love this one because it's reflective, and honestly, I wish I had known quite a few things that would have saved me a lot of stress. The first thing is that you don't need to know everything on day one. When I transitioned from sales to product marketing, I put so much pressure on myself to be perfect. And the reality is product marketing is a learn as you go role. Every company does it differently. Every product is different. Give yourself permission to learn. Second is relationships matter more than deliverables. Yes, you need to create great positioning, great sales enablement, great launch plans or content. But if you don't have strong relationships with your product managers, your sales team, and executives, your work won't get used and it won't get noticed. I spent my first year heads down on tasks and not enough time building trust with stakeholders, and so don't make that mistake. And third, your English degree or something like that is actually an asset. I used to feel like having an English degree in a field dominated by business and marketing majors made me kind of an outsider, but being able to write clearly, tell compelling stories, and translate complicated ideas into simple language is the core of product marketing. So don't feel weird if you don't have a marketing degree and maybe you're an English major. Your background matters more than you think. And finally, it's okay to ask for help. Whether that's working with a coach like me, joining a community, or reaching out to product marketers on LinkedIn for informational type of interviews. No one gets there alone, and I truly believe that. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And look, if you're serious about breaking into product marketing and you want personalized help, I offer a few different ways that you can work with me. We can work on one-on-one interview coaching where we'll practice your answers. I'll give you real feedback, resume and LinkedIn editing so your profile actually positions you as a qualified product marketer. And then I also offer take-home assignment and portfolio building assistance. So if you have an upcoming product marketing interview, be sure to check out this next video to prep. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.